Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, ambassadors, in particular the ambassador of Rwanda, Dr. Karabaranga, welcome. Dr. Santoki, the representative of the Lord Mayor of The Hague, welcome. Friends and colleagues at the ISS, but most of all, dear students, welcome to this, the 61st graduation ceremony of the MA in Development Studies at the Institute of Social Studies. My name is Freek Schiphorst, and I'm the Deputy Rector for Educational Affairs, and this afternoon, your Master of Ceremony. Let me introduce to you those behind the table. Most of you in this hall will be familiar with their faces, but the ceremony is also streamlined via the internet the world over, and proud mothers and proud fathers, grandfathers, grandmothers, brothers, sisters, relatives, friends and colleagues might be watching this event the world over. Maybe in all places, offices, internet cafes. Most definitely at all times. In Bogota, Colombia, it's 4 hours earlier. In Beijing, China, it is shortly after 9 in the evening. In Tokyo, even 10. Welcome, welcome. For those especially for those who are joining us from far afar, these faces are new. At the far right, left from you, the rector of the Institute, Professor Haan, seated next to him, the academic registrar, Nienke Smit, and behind her, Professor Karin Arts, the chair of the Board of Examiners. The rector might be handing over the degrees, but only because the Board of Examiners has informed him that all requirements were met. There are 2 empty seats. One is mine, the other one is for our mystery guest of the afternoon, Dr. Jacobijn Oldhoff. She's an alumna of the Institute of Social Studies, where she specialized in politics of alternative development strategies. She's program director of the Masters in International Development Studies at the University of Amsterdam. But most importantly for this afternoon, she's the chair of the jury of the Research Paper Prizes Award. And she will present this year's jury report later. She will join us, hopefully, a little later. Dear students, you will receive many accolades this afternoon, and these are well deserved. Let me start by congratulating you for having survived. In January, you survived the longest stretch of snow on the ground since 3 decades. And months later, you survived the wettest month of October since 4 decades. Indeed, now the cold is returning, but now we let you go back to the warmth of your country and the warmth of your family and loved ones. On average, you survived 10 exams and 5 essay assignments, not to mention the smaller ones in class. You survived the research paper. It was a moving year. In February last, Dr. Jos Mooi passed away, very untimely. She was Deputy Rector for Education Affairs, Associate Professor in Public Policy and Development Management. She contributed immensely to the work of the ISS and to the design of the MA program. We miss her. It was also an eventful year. In April, the ISS announced the reorganization of its support services, which stirred emotions and concerns, also among the student body. There were fears that all had to be moved to Rotterdam. I'm happy to inform you that recently the ISS Institutes Council approved a proposal establishing an in-house teaching and learning services team, guaranteeing for the new batch, and many more to come, good quality personal support. Let me take this opportunity to, for the last time, extend my heartfelt gratitude to all staff members in the Office of Educational Affairs, in particular Suzanne Spa, Ank van den Berg and Nienke Smit. For their support and tireless efforts during a whole academic year, and for making this event possible by working long hours in cold, dark nights. The year will no doubt have for all of you, individually, many ups and downs, but this occasion marks the final up for many. While living the year many of you might have moaned and groaned under the weight of assessments and assignments. But now you have come at the end of the road. And looking back, many of you will admit that it was over before you were even aware of it. It only started yesterday. It started yesterday, and since then we had an active involvement of our student body, represented by Scholas, the student association. I would like to thank the Scholas executive, Howard Onyok, Gina Medrano, Hadi Mohammed, and Gina Ortiz Escobar. For their work throughout the academic year. They never failed to request we made from them, and your contributions were very much appreciated. Scholas is also behind the presentation of the Good Teacher Award, for which I will give them the floor a little later. The most important advisory committee to me as Deputy Rector for Educational Affairs is the Teaching and Learning Committee. And for their critical and constructive engagement with the learning environment of the ISS, I would like to thank the student members of that committee, Tracy Igbaraeze, Majiji Achi, and Carrie Hobson. Thank you very much. It started yesterday with the ISS looking at 1,457 MA applications and accepting 911. Indeed, yesterday we started with 5 majors, accommodating 175 students. And this includes 2 students who streamed into our MA program in January last via our partner program in Tanzania, REPOA. And it includes also 11 Indonesian students in the double degree program, which the ISS has with the Universitas Indonesia in Jakarta. 60% of you followed a specific specialization, 40 did not. All in all, 149 students will graduate today after 15.5 months. The remaining students have received extensions, and there are a few whose research paper did not yet pass in this round and who will resubmit later. All in all, almost 90% of the students have been able to complete all the work in time, something that is extraordinarily high in the Dutch context. You made us proud. Yes. And we are particularly proud of all these students who have done so well, even to the extent that 7 will receive their degree with merit and 4 with an overall distinction, and that gives me great pleasure. Congratulations. You will get tired if you have to clap after every sentence. What can we expect for the rest of the afternoon? We will start now with the awarding of the degrees in the majors Agrarian and Environmental Studies, Economics of Development, and Governance and Public Governance, Policy and Public Economy. Before we have this awarding ceremony, the rector of the institute will also give you a farewell address. After the first batch of awarding ceremonies, which we award the ceremonies, there will be a short speech, I hope short, by the president, outgoing president of Scholas, Howard Onyok, and the presentation of the Good Teachers Awards. Around 3:15, well, plus 15 minutes, so around 3:30, we will start awarding the degrees of the second batch of majors, namely Human Rights, Gender and Conflict Studies from social justice perspectives. And finally, the major Social Policy for Development. And then I will give the floor to Jacobijn Oldhoff to read this year's jury report of the research paper prizes, and I hope she will appear on time. And the reading of the jury's report for the RP prizes, that will mark the end of the part of the ceremony which takes place in here in the aula. For the final part, I will invite you to move one floor up to the atrium for the reception. May I ask you 2 things? Please remind to switch on your telephone, your mobile, again, when you move up after the first part. While in here, have it on a silent mode, so that while in here you can Twitter the world what is happening here. But make sure that you do not get incoming calls which make us all shriek. Let us now, oh no, there was another remark I had to make. I said 2 remarks. I'm informed that not only is this streamed, but it might also be that whatever you say, however silently, is also recorded. So make sure that if you want to say something good about anything, you do it in such a way that it is recorded. If you want to say something which others better not hear, that you do it in such a way that it's not being heard. May I now ask the first major, the Agrarian and Environmental Studies, for the students to congregate here, and for the convener, Dr. Murat Arsel, who is representing Jon Boras. Is Murat Arsel in here? There he is, from the wings. To go and stand over there. Welcome. So please, could the students of Agrarian and Environmental Studies come and stand here? Then the convener will read out your names.
Everyone.
And assisting Murat as convener is the program administrator Nalini Hartman.
One of the things that we're proud of in the Agrarian and Environmental Studies program is that we combine research and teaching, and we don't see any division between those two things. Of course, that means that many of the teachers are also active researchers, which is why most of the teaching team is not here today. Max Spohr is in Vietnam, Bram Büscher is in Estonia, I just got back from Ecuador, and I think Jon Boras, I hear he's in 5 different places at the same time. So it is my distinct pleasure to give you the degrees today as the deputy convener. I said the research and teaching are integrated, and of course many of you have written fantastic dissertations this year, combining some of the key topics, whether it's green economy in Africa, urban gardening in Detroit, or dams in Brazil. You've done excellent work that combines some of the key topics in development studies. It has been a pleasure working with you all. You've done fantastic work. Some of you have had to overcome personal difficulties, and I'm very happy to see that you've all come through, and there are a few of them for you who are still finishing, but I'm sure they will get there in no time as well. On that positive note, let me thank you again for all this fantastic time this year, and I'm going to go and give you the degrees. Who do we have? And I should also thank Nalini for the excellent support that she's provided all of us throughout the year. And I hope that it continues. Emmanuel Diodone Hararimana. Carisha Roselle Hobson. Nixon Lema Godana. Mulugeta Gebeo Dempsey. Elise Mills. Tasil Mbala Ngamugu. Cynthia Lucia Soto Golker. Cristina Esteban Cuesta. Daniel Carlos Cruz Fuentes. Tanya Akolgo. Elka Namamba Wabusia. Mayam Awuni. And finally, with overall distinction, and I'm not done, and RP with distinction, Christina. There are three others who have graduated, but they are not here today. They're Gonzalo Colque Fernandez, Lindsay Halleck, and Chipo Mildred Mandihalde.
May I now ask the students of the Economics of Development major to come and stand here, and the convener, Dr. Howard Nicholas, and the program administrator, Maya Zubli, to come and stand there.
I have to look serious. This time I'll hand it to you. Okay, I think I need to take a few more minutes than Murat did. I have to apologize to my students and perhaps to everyone else that Ajahn Bedi is not here, because I heard last year that he gave such a wonderful speech that there was almost a riot afterwards. I think he's just shamming at the moment. He's somewhere around the place, I know. Okay, so you have to make do with me. Just a brief description. We've had 30 students, and I believe this is about the biggest batch we've ever had in ECD. Anyway, it's somewhere up there in those numbers. 12, not 11, were double degree students. And unfortunately, with the double degree, they can't be with us at this moment, but I really hope they're watching. I'm sure they are. And just to wave to them, hi everyone. During the year, we lost one student through illness, Jessica. We're going to wave to Jessica because we really hope she was a very popular student. And we gained one, Samuli, from Finland. We gained him, but he's not here, I think, today, isn't it? So we lost him again. All except for one will graduate, and I think that one person will also graduate at some point in time. We've got 2 coursework merits and 2 RP distinctions, so that's really good going for us. Now, when Freek sent us instructions, he said, just say a few words on basically how would you describe this batch. And the first couple of words that come into mind are very relaxed. Basically, they accepted things as they came. I don't mean that they were lazy, but you know, they just were very cool with everything. I remember the study trip was on and off and on and off. You remember this has happened to everyone, and they were very cool about it. And then when it finally came, they just made most of it. I mean, we went to Brugge in the end in Belgium, which is not really a study trip. Many interesting characters in the group, so that's my second observation, and with absolutely unforgettable nicknames. Mango. The second one is Nut. I mean, I was introducing him to a colleague of mine from Sri Lanka and saying, this is Nut. You know, can you imagine what the colleague thought? You know, how rude of you. But anyway, third thing I would use to describe them is harmonious. In every way. I mean, one of the great things was how, although we had this very large double degree batch, how they got on with the rest, the normal degree program, and they really integrated so well. The second thing about harmonious is they can sing. You know, on our field trip, they actually were singing late in the night. What is it? We were young, or we are young. My children know that, and they were so impressed when I showed them the video of these guys singing. The only thing is the manager of the hotel was not that impressed. And he threatened to call the police if we didn't shut up, you know, so we had to stop. Well, the last thing about this group is they were really super easy to work with, and it was indeed a truly great pleasure. But I have to say that it was so easy because we had 2 very good class representatives, Kaya, who is here, and Nikki, who is not, but Nikki, I hope you're watching us. Thank you very much. Lastly, I want to thank my colleagues. We've heard that it's been a very difficult year, and the academic staff have really rallied. We lost a lot of staff in Staff Group 1, and many of my colleagues just had to take up lectures that some of them had never done before, but they did it without any complaints whatsoever, and I think they maintained a really good standard, so all credit to the academic staff of the ECD program. And of course, a special thank you to our support staff, to Maya Zubli for fantastic work under a lot of pressure. We know that this administrative reform has put a lot of pressure on the admin staff, and I want to thank all of them. They were really splendid, and without them we could not have finished this course so successfully. So a big thank you to all the support staff. Thanks very much. Okay, now it's time for me to make a fool of myself with pronouncing names that really are. But please forgive me in advance, okay, for pronunciation. The first student is from Colombia, Maria Lourdes Villalobos Alvarez. Sorry, Maria is from Costa Rica. We should know, isn't it? Okay, next student is Qin Shize from China. I'm so embarrassed. Am I going red at the moment? Terrible, isn't it? I should have just said mango. Why? Okay, from the Philippines, Annabel de los Santos Magno. Next from the United States, Tracy Igbarese. From Zanzibar, Tanzania, Suwaina Abdullah Hilal. From Nicaragua, Mariela Eugenia Hedosia Macias. Okay, here goes. This is a difficult one for me, sorry. From Nigeria, Oyedolope Chiamaka Adeyoye. I don't know how Murat did it so easily, isn't it? From India, Mudimata Heba Kagada Ramesh. From Ethiopia, Ermias Getachew. From Ghana, Enyona Ganya. From Ethiopia, Simret Bora. From Nepal, Anam Basnet. From Bolivia, I know her family is also here, Carla Maria Sanginez. From Bangladesh, Badrum Nessa Ahmed. From Nigeria, Esther Adrinwala. From Thailand, a research paper with distinction. Wait, I've been practicing all day for the name, you see. Witawat Priok Wong. Wait, fail. But Akanat, you know. Also a research paper with distinction, Sadia Mohammed from Sadia is from Ethiopia. Person who is not here, but we'll give him a big cheer nevertheless. From Finland, Samuli Sinasalo. Thank you.
Okay, the next major is GPPE, Governance, Policy and Political Economy, with the convener Beth Helpsing and the program administrator Siska Vosselman.
Ja. Is dit de 5? Yeah? Okay. A warm welcome. A warm welcome to the students of Governance, Public Policy and Political Economy. That is the name of the major. You may remember that at the opening of the academic year 15 months ago, I told you that you formed the first cohort of this new major at the ISS. This new major on governance, public policy and political economy was formed in a joint effort by 3 distinct teaching teams at the ISS. The one on public policy and management, local development strategies, and international political economy and development. They all share the substantive interest in the study of governance and new forms of governance that we are witnessing today. State-regulated, civic-driven, and private sector-led, as well as multiple forms in which different social actors negotiate and jointly implement different mandatory, voluntary governance arrangements. These new styles of governance change the character of public policy making as non-state actors enter global, national, and local arenas of policy making, implementation, legitimacy, and accountability. Your cohort was also different in another important respect. The group was much larger than we were accustomed to. We started with 35 students. This altered learning dynamics. Having students and staff with different interests and different specializations enriched the debates, but these debates were also more challenging. Managing a program and interacting with all of you was a task which I shared with 3 colleagues, namely Georgina Gomez, Rosalba Icaza, and Joop de Wit. Georgina is at the moment abroad, as well as Joop de Wit. Together we formed a convening team. In fact, they did most of the work, and I thank them all for a very well done job. On the administrative side, Siska has been our main support. You're our main support. Siska, thank you very much. I think I speak on behalf of all my colleagues when I express my thanks to you for having been our first cohort, and thank you for all the feedback you have given us during and after delivery. And when I speak of all my colleagues, I refer to those that were part of the teaching team of the major, namely Sylvia Berg, Erhard Berner, Georgina Gomez, Wil Hout, Rosalba Icaza, Karim New, Peter Noriga, Sunil Tanga, and Joop de Wit. I also take the opportunity to thank our ISS and non-ISS colleagues who participated in the supervision of your research papers, especially Kees Pickard, Rachel Kurian, Lee Peckner, Karen Siegman, Tandam Truong, and Dr. Santoki here in The Hague, as well as Venkat Iyanirban in India. One style of governance that has not been received very much attention in the curriculum is self-government. But if I want to characterize you as a group, then I think it is that you practiced it. You organized the trip to Berlin all by yourselves in all its aspects. Academic visits, finance, transport, accommodation. And Georgina, who was your biggest ally among the staff and who accompanied you, tells me that she was impressed by the group solidarity that you demonstrated and that helped to make this trip a success, also in academic terms. You as a group managed to resurrect the study trip as part of the MA program, and future students should be grateful to you for this effort. Of the 34 students completed this course today, 30 graduate today, and 24 of you will receive your diploma in a few minutes, as 6 of you already went home for various reasons. 4 students received extensions, and normally one does not mention the names of those, but I want to make an exception today for one person, namely Sumita Basu, who sits there among us. Sumita has suffered and is still suffering from a difficult and complex illness. which has handicapped her for most of the academic year and especially during the summer period. Notwithstanding all difficulties encountered, amongst others of intercultural communication within the health system and with insurance companies, she continued in good spirit. She is a strong woman with enormous willpower and a good sense of humor. She has just returned this week from her fieldwork and expects to graduate within the next 3 months, and we wish her success with that. With that, I come to the end of my speech, and we continue now with handing out the diplomas. During the whole 15 months, we actually used first names and nicknames. But today we have to use your full name, so if I don't pronounce it correctly, please accept my apologies in advance. Huh? Yeah? The first, Sokolulu Tsavango from Zimbabwe. Gina Maria Medrano Chang from Peru. Obina Onukogu Banda from Zambia. Radwansaya Yusuf Ahmad from Indonesia. Victoria Akins. Maria Andrea Saleme Vargas. Lisbeth Mayali Guerrero Kwan. Abdul Wahid Adam, Ghana. Angeli Joyce Paredes Barafon, Philippines. Leonard Chang Guartey, Ghana. Christian Lenny Hernandez from the Philippines. Now this is a difficult one. Aksarapak Samfeokeo from Thailand. Sandra Ketche from Ghana. Walaya Shashi from Zambia. Umbreen Rahman Salim, Pakistan. Isa Ibrahim Mahmoud from Tanzania. John Lee Rutazigwa from Uganda. Yeah. Reena Mehta from India. David Meister from Brazil. Felista Bruno Njovu from Tanzania. Azubuike Ara from Nigeria. James Alejandro Artiga Purcell, United States. Eunsil Che from Korea. Sharan Kumar Das from Bangladesh, sorry. Congratulations. Oh, yeah. And then we also have today the graduation of Tibor van Hulst, who graduated from last year's LRD. Tibor. I haven't finished. He also finished with distinction on his research paper. Then we have 4 students who could not be here today, but who have graduated. Kopala Krishnan Suryanarayanan from India. Shankar Kumar Jha from India. Hariom from India. And Felipe Hernandez Ramirez from Colombia. Thank you very much.
That was the first batch of degree awarding. We now go for an intermezzo with speeches from the authorities. So indeed, if you all could find a seat or a place where you can stand at ease, then we will first listen to a speech of the rector of the institute, and then a speech from the outgoing president of Scholas, Onyok. I'd like now to give the floor to Professor Haan, Rector of the ISS.
Thank you very much. Temperature is rising, huh? Yeah, but that's an indication always of the good ambience and atmosphere in the institute, of course. This, as the Deputy Rector said, ISS is your home. But home with a capital H, you will soon return to. And I wish you well and a good trip back home. You have been focusing your work on major societal issues, on human development, on poverty, on human security, economic issues, democracy, human rights, economic growth, sustainability. You came to deepen your academic knowledge, but always, and that's the special thing about you, dear graduates, always with a desire to contribute to its solutions, to make it relevant. And indeed, completing that MA program has not been an easy task. You had to adjust to the ISS, to the learning process. You had to cope with all kinds of assessments and deadlines. And yeah, deadlines. And of course you had to combine that with all the sorrows and worries, but of course also the joy with your families back home. I know it has been rewarding. Through the MA program you have developed, enhanced your capacity to analyze and to deal with complicated issues. And of course we sincerely hope as an institute, by enhancing your individual capacities, you always will contribute to an institutional enhancement in your own country, in the countries where you will develop your careers further. For an institute as ours, that is important. That you will continue to contribute in your work through inclusive development, and that will also result in enhancement of institutional capacities. We always like to say that you are the decision makers of tomorrow, and that you will face complicated issues in the next part of your career, but we advise you to remain the independent critical thinker we think you are, although some days ago someone did not exactly what that was. Oh, at least that was a difficult question to answer, I admit. Of course she knew what it is. It means that you, rather than making a choice for a theory or a choice for a model or a choice for an immediate solution, that you will continuously put to test arguments, models, blueprints, solutions and whatever, that you will always first try to find a counterfactual, and that according to your analysis you will then continue with implementation and action. It's not an easy process, but we are sure that you have learned how to do it and that you will develop that further in the rest of your career. I sincerely hope that ISS has contributed to that. Of course, we want to keep in touch with you. You are, as of next week, our eyes and ears out there. So please, please feedback on us. Please feedback on our teaching and on our research program. And also, among your friends and families and neighbors, try to find new students. And if possible, fellowships. Anyhow, some of you are especially appointed special ambassadors to the ISS, and I wish you success in doing that. Dear graduates, all of you have your personal ambitions to fulfill and combine that in a meaningful way with your duties to society and science. I sincerely hope that you feel challenged as professionals, either in the public sector, or in the private sector, or in civil society, and that you feel challenged to contribute to the enhancement of the Global South and to inclusive development. You are the future of ISS, and we are proud of you. We wish you good luck and a lot of strength. Thank you very much.
There are two well-kept secrets for today. The secret for which all the members of the academic staff are eagerly awaiting for it to be unveiled, the Best Teacher of the Year award. Yes, Andrew, we are eagerly awaiting that. and the one to announce that, and most likely a lot more, is the outgoing president of Scholas, Onyok. Howard, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much. It's a profound honor to speak to this gathering, delivering probably my final remarks. I thank Professor Leo Haan for his immaculate and noble leadership, the Deputy Rector, Freek, the Board of Examiners, and general members of the ISS management. In the same vein, I wish to recognize and appreciate our beloved lecturers, invited guests in your distinguished capacities, including the alumni of ISS and all members of the ISS family. Most importantly, congratulations to this distinguished group of 2012-2013 class. I congratulate you. I wish to further extend my appreciation to our parents, relatives, guidance, friends for this invaluable support. I say this is your day as well. Think of it. Your sons, your nephews, your brothers and sisters spent 15.5 months far away from home in the cold. And the beautiful summer that we experienced shortly. Yet we remain, as evident today, very strong as ever. Fellow graduates, I am humbly honored to belong now to the ISS alumni class. And celebrating this achievement is very important. I take pride in that. There is the unique sense of purpose that this place has always infused, the conviction that is the training we get here is good enough and should not only belong to an individual success, but we should spread this knowledge and the success we have received here back to our communities to benefit the people back home. So I ask of you today, use this power for something larger than yourself. Live up to the challenge. Be sensitive to the wrongs, to the sufferings, and to the injustices in society. And be willing to accept responsibility for correcting those ills. For that is the knowledge and the ideas we've received from here. I know that some of us, when we came to ISS, we come from communities that entail us keeping our heads down and looking only at ourselves. ISS has made us a family. This I confess. Although we come from different backgrounds, we have different cultures, but we have lived here as a family. And that was a very valuable experience that I have achieved. Don't get me wrong. With our degrees, we're all excited to get very fancy jobs, get good houses, and get vehicles. These are opportunities that we are getting now that probably some of our parents have never imagined. And no one expects us to sit back. After 15 months, we all expect to earn some money and be rich. But I will say to you, it betrays a poverty of ambition if after this we only think of buying for ourselves, getting rich for ourselves, instead of doing something good for our people, for our community members. Just as ISS has taught you to expect more of yourself, inspire those who look up to you, whatever you do, strive to do it to the best that no one can do it better than you. And I'll tell you this, dear friends. Whatever success I've achieved, whatever positions of leadership I have held, and still inspire to hold, it has not depended only on my grades, and instead has been due to the sense of connection and empathy. The special obligation that I've felt to help those who need it most. We probably have people who have not had the opportunity and the chance we have had today. We can help them out. We can give them a hand to become like us. And I've been successful because I strongly believe when you pray and you believe in God, the success comes. And that has been my greatest weapon. I wish to thank my fellow colleagues, the ISS management, for the great support they gave us as the Scholas executive. And I want to thank the team, the executive, the committees, the different committees, for the valuable work you did to ensuring that our stay at ISS was meaningful and successful. We've had our challenges, but those challenges are normal. In democracy, we say we need consensus. But let me tell you, one thing I've learned, in an international setting like ISS, sometimes it becomes very hard to achieve that consensus. Because of our different settings, backgrounds, which is good. We get to learn from it. So it's up to you to widen your circle of concern, to care about the justice for everybody, not just in your community, like I said, but also around the world, to make sure everyone has a voice. We who have studied social policy, human rights, we need to speak for them. And everybody gets a sense on a table that everybody, no matter what you look like, where you come from, what you wear, what you speak, what your name is, we need to give them a chance to work to achieving those opportunities that we have achieved today. Finally, even as we graduate today, success may not come quickly and easily. But if you strive to do the right things, if you work harder and dream bigger, if you set an example of your life and do your part to meet those challenges, then I'm confident together we will continue the never-ending task of being who we dream to be. Allow me especially to thank, one, the Welfare Office, Martin Block. For the great work, Martin. I would also love to thank the Students' Office, Susan Spa. I would like to thank Ank and your team. Our distinguished and many professors, who I may not mention name by name. Allow me to thank facilities, John and Robin. The Iliad team for the great help in the IT. In the restaurant, Tom and the group, the support staff of ISS for this immeasurable work you've done. Without you, we would have not made it easily here. I thank you all. For those I have not mentioned your name individually, we send our special thanks and appreciation for making our lives easy at ISS. Congratulations, dear graduates. God bless you, and God bless ISS. On this occasion, I will invite the TLC, the Teaching and Learning Committee that is in charge.
Hello. Hi, I'm Tracy Barassi.
And Carrie Hobson.
And our final member, Athi Majija, is not able to be here with us today. So, hi, Athi. Today, we're presenting the Best Teacher Awards. There's 3 categories, and these teachers represent our most inspiring, most innovative, and most effective teacher at ISS. There's a quote by Robert Frost that we all think definitely speaks to these teachers. The quote is, "There are 2 kinds of teachers. The kind that fills you with so much quail shot that you can't move. And then there's that kind of teacher that just gives you a little pride behind and you jump to the skies." And we believe that these teachers have definitely pushed us to the skies. The first award is for the most effective teacher. This teacher represents the ability to transmit knowledge easily and making the students grasp the topics explained very easily. All of our students had the opportunity to vote and decide who they thought was the best teacher for this award. And the winner of this award is Howard Nicholas.
For the second category, Innovation in Teaching, this teacher is considered the best teacher in involving the class as a whole in the learning process and with a unique and innovative alternative teaching methods. And the winner of this award is also Howard Nicholas. The final award is for the most inspiring teacher, and this teacher was best at inspiring the students to fulfill their goals and aspirations. And the winner of this award is, everybody's waiting, and Andrew Fisher. Those are all the awards. Thank you.
For a moment, I was afraid that the TLC committee had just copied the speech of last year. But then Andrew came as indeed the surprise of the... This brings us to the second batch of majors whose awards will now be, whose degrees will now be awarded. And we'll start with the major Human Rights, Gender and Conflict Studies from... It is indeed the major with the longest name, but we know them by their last part, Social Justice Perspectives. The SJP major with as convener Karin Arts, and as program administrator it started with José Haan, but she fell ill, and it's now Sandra Giraud who will assist Karin Arts.
So good afternoon, everybody. Here they are, Human Rights, Gender and Conflict Studies, or the Social Justice Perspectives SJP group. Indeed, we combine 4 core specializations that are especially tied to the SJP major. Human Rights, Women and Gender Studies, Peace and Conflict Studies, and Social Movements. A very vast and a very diverse terrain. And our students, as they are standing there, I think display the diversity as well. I thought that one way of giving you a little glimpse of what we cover in the SJP major is just by giving you a few of the titles of the research papers that some of the students in this group have produced this year. There is a paper on interaction on agenda setting between the LGBT movement and the government of Brazil. A paper of immigration detention, or on immigration detention in the Netherlands and in Europe. Trends and perceptions in the bride pride custom in Uganda. Women and microfinance in Vietnam. Prevention of child trafficking in and from Belarus. And using strategic human rights litigation in seeking transnational remedies within the emerging business and human rights framework. I thank this group, and I do so also on behalf, of course, of the convener team of the SJP major, constituted apart from myself by Jeff Handmaker, Helen Hinchens, Dubravka Zarkov and Kees Biekaert. And also on behalf of our program administrators, Tanya Kingdom, José Haan and Sandra Giraud. I thank you for being part of our journey in trying to make sense of a major covering a very vast terrain and dealing with a lot of different topics, and for actually helping us to see that we have a lot in common. And we can actually learn, and earlier on somebody referred to the fact that actually this diversity in the student body enriches the debate in class. And this is what happened for us as well. I very briefly also want to mark the fact that not all of the students who started the SJP major last year are here today to graduate. And for some of that is for a happy reason. For example, because of a baby born. Although there is also one student and a baby born who is actually graduating today. And for others, that is for not so positive reasons, for unforeseen medical emergencies. but many of those are in progress to finish and will graduate later on in the year or in early 2014. And of course, we wish them all the best in finishing their journey. If I have to characterize this group in one word, I would say, well, I need two: very active, because that is what you were. Many of you were active in supporting ISS staff, but also others in organizing conferences about all kinds of different subjects. Several of you did internships in organizations based in The Hague or in Amsterdam. Some of you were active also in Scholas and in other ISS bodies. And at least one of you was active in the celebrations of the centennial of the Peace Palace in The Hague and gave a public speech which was live streamed across the world. Now, the other thing I want to say is I think that you are very much a live example of what both Professor Leo de Haan and the president of Scholas have just told us about the level of personal, professional development that most ISS students achieve while being here, the level of especially progress they achieve in critical analytical skills and in critical debating skills. And especially on the last part, we got a live illustration during our study visit in Geneva. And in fact, at a certain moment in the year, some of the SJP students came up to me and told me, well, you know, other students in ISS are making fun of us because they tell us that SJP is not allowed to go on study visits, let alone to go on study visit abroad. Now, we were a little bit more adventurous than going to Brugge. We went to Geneva. And the reason why it took so long for us to get there is because, well, we thought we should keep one of the best experiences for the last. So we went in October. And actually, I was very much struck by the fact that several of you, independently from one another, came up to me and told me how much you appreciated the study visit, precisely because it made you see how each one of you was different from when you came into ISS on day one last year. And in fact, as it normally goes in study visits, you get a formal introduction by a speaker. In this case, a senior-ranking human rights officer in the office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights in Geneva. And then, of course, normal convention goes that you give comments or you ask questions to the speaker, which they did for a moment, but very soon thereafter they actually started to debate. And not only with the speaker, but also between themselves. Yeah? And they started to really critically challenging each other. And the interesting thing was that the speaker, he actually got into the debate very much and he appreciated the turn this meeting got. And I think that really underlined what you have achieved during your study time here in ISS, through classroom interaction, but definitely also through the interaction you as students had outside of the classroom. Yeah? I congratulate all of you, and I now would like to hand out the degrees. Thomas Cosmas Munzerere from Tanzania. Purity Muni Mutisha from Kenya. Florence Nabawezi from Uganda. Mwete Maggie Nakabonga. En reis van Uganda. Sylvia Mukasa Namumbiru from Uganda. Joyce Nyame from Ghana. Vida Owusu from Ghana. Genevieve Partington from Ghana. Now we do a change of continent. Mimu Raghubanshi from Nepal. Monica Maritza Rodriguez Ribeiro from Colombia. Zaruhi Susanyan from Armenia. Amanda Teixeira Pinto from Brazil. Ha Phong Tran from Vietnam. From Colombia, Andrea Carolina Jaramillo Contreras. From Uganda, Pamela Komojuni. From the Philippines, Marie Hazel La Victoria. From Belarus, Alexandra Zikan. From Nigeria, Adoropo Ayodele Egbeleke. From Ethiopia, Daniel Tessema Firisa. from the United States of America, Jacqueline Gabor Tobar. That is what it says, but it's not correct. She was born in the United States of America, but she is from Ecuador. Then from Nepal, for sure, Pragya Gurung. Then Rafaela Haan, who is not here. Then from Colombia, Marcela Hoyos Vivas. And from Nepal, Chanda Tapa. From Mozambique, Unity da Costa Fortuna Jaime. From Uganda, Kennedy Ayeyo. And from Uganda, Asimwe Henry. Birthplace Argentina, Eliana Alicia Barragan. From the Philippines, Maisel Angelica Reyes Payanan. From Ethiopia, Yeshivas Degu Belai. From the Philippines, Maria Roda Longchong Cisnero. From China, Ying Zheng. Birthplace, United States of America, Laura Dominguez. Well, of course, some of those who have to wait till the last will be rewarded. I have here the degree of Beril Sakir from Turkey with a research paper with distinction. Likewise, I have a degree with a research paper with distinction for Mohammed Hadi from Afghanistan. And then we have a special degree for a person who is from Bosnia and Herzegovina, who combined her work in the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia with her studies in ISS. She started her program with the 2011-2012 batch, and she now receives her degree. Samira Hamzic. Then we have a few people who graduate but for different reasons could not be here today. Tamar Diskin from South Africa. Janneke Beeksma from Canada. From the Philippines, Georgette Nectarinia Montes Rucker. Hedda van Heijzen. A former ESD participant, Maartje Smitshuizen. And last not least, Chantal, where are you? A student who started her studies at the time when we still had a proper child and youth studies specialization. She had several extensions. She overcame all the circumstances that led to these extensions, and she now gets her degree with a specialization in child and youth studies. Chantal Kotten. Okay, thank you.
That concludes the conferring of the degrees for the SJP specialization. We have one more degree for the GPPE major.
This is a bit unfortunate, but I'm happy at least that we can correct it now. There is one person who already left last week for South Africa, and this morning his diploma already went with special delivery to South Africa, and that's why it wasn't here. But it is Majija Hati. And Majija, congratulations, I'm sure you are looking at the video now. And it might be interesting also for you to know that the special delivery is by Alan Fowler, who takes your diploma to South Africa. Thank you.
That's not only special, but also a personal delivery. The final group, the final major to receive their degrees is this vocal lot here. Yeah. The Social Policy for Development major, whose convener is Andrew Fisher, and the program administrator is Sharmini Bisesar.
So the vocal lot over there. So yeah, I think I'm one of the last obstacles between you and drinks upstairs. So I'll try and keep it fairly short. Social policy for development, or in long form for transformative development, and including, well, 4 specializations, but then became 3, childhood and youth studies, population development and poverty studies, and of course work and employment, which is back in the running this year. You started as 34, and then you grew to 36, and then you grew to 38, which put your population growth rate at roughly the same as the world average. And I got so inspired by that, I decided to have another child. I didn't bring her. I didn't know everyone was going to bring their children, but you know, but she's fine at home. And I'm very happy to say that all of you have graduated, which is, I think, fantastic. And 4 aren't here, unfortunately. We'll mention their names. I think this year you've heard a lot about everything being new, right? So I think sometimes we've called you an experiment. I think sometimes we've called you guinea pigs. Sometimes some of the courses that might have different terminology and so on. But definitely, I think one of the concerns we had in moving to the major program was how larger groups of students would bond, because we were so used to these small groups that bonded so closely together. And also how they would bond with the teachers wouldn't know them as well, and so on. And the one thing I have to say, if I would just in short terms, is you guys have been exceptional. You've been amazing. And not just in terms of, in terms of the bonding. I mean, in terms of the group, your group spirit and the way as we've been hearing throughout the program. Definitely, I think SPD has a very strong identity that has become larger than just the individual collections of specializations. And if anything, and that's because of you, it's not because of us. I think we've just been ushers to this process of watching you grow. And I think, if anything, you've really done justice to the vision of Jos, because she's really the one who had this idea of moving towards the major systems, and I think you've proven her right in many respects, and I wish she could be here to see it. And also academically, you've been very strong as well. I mean, we've constantly had to justify to BOE why your averages were higher than the norm that they were telling us to stay within, but which is, what can we do, you know? Anyways. No. And also I would like we've had several student reps in the group. I think you had rotating student reps, so I'll just thank you collectively. I think all of the things that everyone said before apply to you. I won't repeat them. Not all of them, but you know. We also went to Geneva. It was a fun trip, but we didn't. Not all of you could attend, but we had a nice time out on the lake having drinks and so on. I'd also want to thank, I won't name them all, you know who you are, but I really want to thank the teaching team this year, because again, it was a new experience of some majors more or less had the same teaching teams, whereas we had to merge together teaching teams from 2 staff groups, and I think it worked wonderfully well. And I'd like to thank everyone for that in that effort. And I'd especially a massive thanks to Sharmini. I don't actually know what I will do without her. She's not leaving ISS, right? It's just that she's no longer our program administrator, unless we can somehow do something, I don't know, a walkout demonstration or whatever you do. I have to talk to SJP because they're more experienced in sort of those types of things. You know, social policy, we're more sort of friendly and the whole thing. But also thanks to Marieke Klopper, if I say that right, who joined us and left us. Well, is leaving us, not left us yet. But and unfortunately, we're sad about that. Thank you. And of course, Nalini, because Nalini is the critical backup. Sometimes when I'm late for my lectures and I call up Sharmini and I realize she's not on my phone, I call Nalini, of course. So it's a big thanks to her. And well, with no further ado, let's present the degrees. Yes. Okay. So from Sudan, Abdul Rahman Adam. Abdul Rahman. And from Namibia, Helena Magano Asino. Again, like Bert said, we're used to using short names and nicknames and so on. So sometimes what you do is just clap very loudly as soon as I say the first syllable, and then we'll be fine. But Sud, Swatra Barik from India. Yes, of course. And from Cambodia, Lida Chea. And from Ghana, Gloria Garba. And of course, from Mozambique, Rogers Justo Mateus Hansen. And from the Philippines, Annabelle Bonje, or Bonje. Sorry, we had a bit of a question. It was geopolitics. 'Cause as far as I understand, Hind, you're from Jordan. Yes, exactly. No, it's the other one we were. Yes, exactly. So, from Jordan, Hind Jamal Farahat. And from Ethiopia, we have several, so you still have to guess. Melete Gebre Georgis Tepe. And from Mexico, Paulina Trejo Mendez, or also known as Tat. And from Rwanda, Clarisse Umaraza. And from Zambia, Kunda Kariba P. And another from Ethiopia, Hone Manfredo Balaye. from Zimbabwe, Vimbaye Mbadiza. And this time, from Palestine, Rohan Nasar Rashid Ibrahim. And from Ghana, Ellis Komson. And from Finland, Susanna Julia Lair. Is she here? She's not here. Okay. So Susanna. And from the Philippines, Marlon Laksamana. And from South Africa, Innocentia Zandile. And from Colombia, Paula Alejandra Moreno.
Papá y mamá, esto es para ustedes.
So, yes. Sorry, from Kenya, Aurelia Mutoni Munene. And from Uganda, John Leonard Ochum. So birthplace UK, which I didn't know before, Kehinde. Nigeria. Oluwalua Akwale. Yes. And again from Nigeria, Ruth Egwano Ukudemi. Of course, presidents from Uganda, Howard Onyok. And from Nicaragua, Martha Lucia Ortega. Shall I wait till they're done, or? Okay. From Colombia, Gina Ortiz Escobar. Oh, yes. And another from Colombia, Andres Felipe Saravia Valdez. And from Zimbabwe, Fungai Mataris. And from Uganda, Nakimbugwe Grace Lisa. Also from Uganda, Amos Turiatamba. So with overall distinction and distinction in the RP from Brazil, Carolina Morita. And another overall distinction and distinction with RP from Japan, Natsuko Kondama. Yes, with RP and distinction and overall distinction, or I don't, it says overall distinction here. anyways, we'll discuss that afterwards. Birthplace Nicaragua, yeah, and Dutch by nationality, Sarah Vida Koeman. Thank you. Congratulations. Oh, sorry. Four absences. One from Nigeria, Boletife Olubukola Folasade Adefe. And then fellow Canadian, Kyla Marie Hackett. Tanzania, of course, from our RAPOA degree that joined us, Nima Julius Rutatina. And also another one from Tanzania, same program, Cornell Vernance Jahabi.
Wacht maar. Well, that concludes the awarding of the degree.